Chelsea fans, you see, I need to have a talk with you guys real quick. I need everyone to be honest with themselves. If they are impressed with Maresca's performance this season. You see, let's all not forget, Maresca is in his second season. Second season. And remember when Todd Bowley and the Clear Lake people took over Chelsea, how everybody was all against them because they sacked Tuchel. We didn't like how they were managing the club. Now you cannot really blame them for anything because of the monies invested in the team. Nobody can tell me that Enzo Maresca has absolutely no say or no doing in the players he's brought in. We spent over close to $2 billion, like an enormous, humongous amount of money. Nobody can convince me that the injury of Palmer or Colwill is so significant or is so bad that Sunderland will be second and Chelsea is seventh in the league. I don't care if it's the beginning half of the season. Let's be honest with ourselves. Nobody is convincing me that Bournemouth, after selling their best defenders they can have, after selling Zabani, after selling Kerkes, after selling players who improved them last season, is still playing better than Chelsea. Chelsea fans, don't be gassed. We are about to get gaslighted with winning Club World Cup. And then you see, sometimes you have to be honest with yourself as a supporter. What we forget is, ask yourself as a Chelsea fan, before we headed to that Club World Cup, did you really and honestly thought Chelsea stood a chance to win? Because prior to that season, we were not that impressive. We were not that great. I mean, we finished in the Champions League, but then looking at the money spent and the output given, we're not that great. And now, another gaslighting you are going to be gaslit is that we won our previous 4 or 5 games. Let's take a look at Chelsea's previous games they've played so far. See, this is far from me being called a fickle fan or anything like that. In September, we lost to Manchester United. Prior to that Manchester United game, we had lost 3-1 to Bayern Munich. If we are supposedly the Club World Cup champions, you forget the Bayern Munich game. It's something you could give them a pass on. We lost to Bayern Munich, lost to Manchester United. I mean, the Lincoln game, everybody beats Lincoln. We lost to Brighton. You know, these are like the petty games that matter in a competition. The Manchester United we lost 2-1 was not any special Manchester United. Brighton, I don't care about our injuries. I really do not care about our injuries. We should be beating Brighton. Brighton does not have a superior team than Chelsea. They don't have any better team than Chelsea. We beat Benfica, but everyone is... And not to even underplay the performance, but everyone is beating Benfica, if you're being honest. Benfica lost to Karabakh. Benfica has been a mess in the Champions League. They sacked their coach mid-season, brought in Mourinho. We all know Mourinho is not really Mourinho in these days. Then we won against Liverpool. That was impressive performance. And I'm not going to lie. But then look at this Liverpool team. They've been on a very rough, bad patch. But credit where it's due. Nottingham. The easiest team you could face this season is Nottingham. Ajax, if anybody watched that Ajax game, you would realize that 5-1 we won was a fluke. And I'm not joking that it was a fluke because, first of all, Ajax is not good. Secondly, they were down to 10 men by like the 20-something minute. So, all this supposed winning run we've won, we've not really faced, apart from Liverpool, I don't think we've faced any tough challenge. The games we are supposed to win, we've not been winning. And today we lost to Sunderland. Sunderland climbed up second into the Premier League, into the Premiership. This is why I think the problem is. The problem is simple. This is why I think the problem is. We've been gaslighted as Chelsea fans into forgetting how good we used to be. Think about it. Chelsea has not won the Premiership. The last time we won the Premier League was under Conte, which is I think 2016 season. It's almost a decade since Chelsea won the Premier League. We've been gaslit into believing that we are this developmental team. We are this small boys. We are building a project. And you look within the project, you cannot substantiate or find anything substantial with this project. Some players are in this team who honestly should not be Chelsea standard. I'm not joking. Enzo Maresca himself, personally, again, I don't think is really at that level yet to have been coaching Chelsea. See, he's had good performances. Again, this is not me being fickle. He's had brilliant moments, especially in the Club World Cup. But if you take away his Club World Cup, whatever, you really can't put it, because last season when we finished fourth, people were expecting Chelsea to win the league. We were that good. We were performing that great, and then everything collapses. We led during the first half of the season. Everything collapsed. This season has not been impressive. We have Caicedo, who is really like carrying us at the scruff of his neck. See, why did he change Josh Champon? Why? Why did he change? What was so bad about Josh Champon's performance that he brought Adarabioyo? To be very honest, it's not Chelsea standard. We've seen defenders in Chelsea, not Chelsea standard. And that second goal was totally on him. What the hell were they doing? I don't know if they were dancing. I don't know what they were doing. But to be very honest, we need to... Tosin is not Chelsea standard. I'm sorry. Look at that back. Sanchez, well, I can't fault him for the second goal. Honestly, I can't really fault him. But if you're being honest, Sanchez should have been sold. I don't know why we never went for Mainan. And you see how one piece of a whole puzzle can change everything. Case in point, Manchester City, prior to them getting in Donnarumma, look at the performances Trafford was putting up. After Donnarumma, you can feel some stability with Manchester City. They are not that perfect, but just that one piece can change. Today, I'm not blaming Sanchez, but if you're being honest, how many of these Chelsea players are Chelsea standard? The backline, you have Reece James. Cucurella has proven to be Chelsea standard. Even Cole, who is injured, we depend on for a very long time, was not Chelsea standard. I think this is honestly what's going to happen in this Chelsea team. They are going to give Enzo Maresca this Arteta thing, and we are going to be here 5-6 years. We'll be telling ourselves that this is a project, this will come on well, and then every season is going to be like this. We are not going to win till Maresca figures it out. But by the time he'll figure it out, it will be a little too late. We would have had to have exhausted all our patience. I honestly think and I know people will say it gives instability. I don't think that with the injury, even today, why was Lavia not introduced in the game? Why was Lavia? Again, I think Maresca was outcoached. Because when Brian Broby came on, it was very obvious what Sunderland was trying to do. They were not even playing intricate passes. I was watching the game, I was like, the way they are hoofing this ball, they are really dependent on this strong number 9 striker. What did he do about it? You took off Josh Champo and brought on Tosin, who couldn't even contain Brian Broby. He couldn't contain him. We need to go back to the time when managers' jobs are under fire, or they are at risk of losing their job when you put up performances like this. There's just this whole comfort in his job, and there's just this whole banking on the Club World Cup thing. But I need Chelsea fans to really go back and think about it. Prior to that Club World Cup, were you happy with Enzo Maresca? Were you happy with the way the team was playing? And I don't think many Chelsea fans were. But again, this Chelsea team, I'm not buying the excuse that there is injuries, and because there's injuries, we should be where we are. So many teams have injuries. And injuries is part of a season, something you should plan for. Look at the changes he made. Andre Santos, good at Strasbourg. Again, not Chelsea standard. I was rooting for him, but he's not taking the position. He's not justified his inclusion. See, Gittins, I'll be a Gittins hater till the guy changes his life. I don't know. Everybody, man, Charlie,